So we go down by 11 points to the Suns at the Gold Coast Fortress, apparently, where they just cannot lose there. Let's talk about it. So, probably like everyone or all Collingwood supporters, um, I went into this game with optimism. You know, you bring in four premiership players, you bring in Jerry Richards, so five really good players. Boys looked good, looked like they were up for the fight all week during training and stuff like that. And then, you know, you go up to Gold Coast, and Gold Coast are travelling okay, but they haven't lost a game at home. And you go, hang on a second. Our ins, they're actually really good. Like, we bring back Checkers and you know, Pendles and to go in these guys. And you go, okay, we'll give the Suns room for them. I weren't being cocky, is what I'm trying to say, when we said we're going to win. I just thought it was going to be a good game, thought it was going to be a close game. I think I predicted, 20 something points. Um, and obviously, we go up there and Gold Coast cook us. They absolutely cook us. And in one of the videos a couple days ago, I was talking about finding balance, and I said, you know, when do we see five? When do we see teams bring in five or six players like changes, and then go on and win the next game? And I said, no, look, Collingwood's a bit different. They've got that sort of synergy there, and then I guess I foreshadowed it because we just didn't have any sort of connection. We looked good in patches, and we'll talk about the last quarter and the positives later on in the video. But it was just a really, really disappointing game. I love winning, right? That's everyone loves winning. I love winning close games, um, but I am frickin' over. I'm over it. I'm over it. And yes, you know, if we win the next close game, if we win, beat Essendon next week and it's a close game, um, I'm gonna be like, oh, that was amazing. It's a close game. It's a close win. It was a good game. Of course, of course. But I am over close games. It's awesome that we can sort of win that, and it's awesome that we've done that for 2.5 years. But I'm sick to death of being down at three-quarter time and playing one good quarter and coming back. Like the 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 Kangaroos game, yeah, that was amazing to come back from 54 points down and win the game. Absolutely incredible, and we really like not yeah we really celebrated that win because it was an incredible win. Um, but we shouldn't have been in that position. This Gold Coast game, we nearly steal the game. We're in front with 4 minutes to go after kicking six unanswered goals because we were down by, I think it was like 26 points going into the fourth quarter. Or no, 36 points going down into the fourth quarter. Whatever it was, it was a huge deficit. And then, you know, we obviously go on and lose. And Craig McRae looked furious in his presser. First time I've sort of seen him like that. Um, it's just not on. We can't go into games and think, all right, boys, we're down by, 30 points at three-quarter time. Let's turn it on. Let's go. Because you spend all your tickets getting to that point, and then all Gold Coast needed to do was kick a quick one, and then they kicked another one 30 seconds after. Um, it's just, I know we shouldn't be complaining because we've had it good for the last 2.5 years, winning these close games and stuff like that. But this season feels like, I don't know, like it shouldn't we shouldn't be in that position. And you know, I can make excuses and I can say, you know, we brought in five players, and they're getting the run of the game. Maybe Pendlebury wasn't 100%, or anything like that. But it really was just that Gold Coast outshined us, no pun intended. Like, Gold Coast played like a side wanting to prove something, and they proved it. They absolutely proved it. Well, look at the contrast from last year to this year, and the video that I put out yesterday morning of the last time we played them. We were just running in waves and running down the corridor and running and running and running. This game, we did none of that. It was Gold Coast who were running through the middle and finding players free. And whenever it was coming, whenever we were hitting it into our forward line, and Gold Coast would spoil the ball or something, it was always falling to a Gold Coast player because they always were, you know, thereabouts ready to run back, ready to counter, and we were just getting hit and hit and hit. Look at that Ben Long goal after the Nathan Kreuger goal, after we kicked 6 goals in a row and we go up by a couple of points. Gold Coast get it. Ben Long gets it free on the half forward line and slots one out from 50 or wherever he was. He shouldn't be that free. And it happened time and time and time and time again. And like I said in my preview video, historically Collingwood aren't good after the bye, and it just goes to show that. It looked like we were still on holidays, and it's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating because we shouldn't be in this position. We've got a really good team, and they weren't up for the fight today. It just looked like they weren't up for the fight until it was just it wasn't even too little too late because they did a lot. It was too much too late. If we can play like that in the fourth quarter when everyone's gassed, why can't you play like that for quarters 1 to 3? The fundamentals were wrong. Just like normal skills were wrong. They were breaking tackles. The defenders weren't defending well. It's just it was a calamity of errors, and I think it was leading from that Kangaroos game into this game. Um, and I hope that this is just like the cobweb game. Just had to blow these cobwebs out. We've got some more minutes into these players that are coming back, and maybe it'll just, go on from there. When you let a team have nearly 70 inside 50s, um, you're gonna give up goals, right? And you're probably gonna lose the match. Um, we did have, I think we were plus 20 in tackles or something, plus 21 in tackles. So that was good. We did bring the pressure. There were times where, like at the start of that fourth quarter, where we really applied the pressure, but it was just too late. We needed to do that from the start. I said it in my preview where if you just look at the Fremantle game last week, if you apply pressure to the Suns, they crumble. They crumble. And we applied pressure and we saw them crumble, but we just didn't apply it enough. And they were getting, like I said, they were getting through our tackles, and they were just dancing around us. We weren't chasing right. In patches, we looked really good, but it wasn't a full quarter performance. Our biggest lead was 2 points at quarter time or thereabouts in the first quarter. Like, come on, man! Like, we shouldn't be doing this. And when I say the Suns were clinical today, like, look at this. So the Suns had 59 turnovers for the match. We had 72 turnovers. The Suns averaged 70 turnovers. We averaged 65. So we were above our average, and the Suns were way below their average for turnovers. So they were just on. Whenever a ball bounced, it bounced their way. Everything went their way. It's a fortress up there. I don't know how. We had more Collingwood supporters up there than them. I can guarantee you that. I don't know how, but it's a fortress. It's crazy to think that they are 8-0 at home and 0-7 on the road. How does that even happen? Like, I was happy with our clearance work. Our clearances were well. We were on top of clearances by what, 7? It wasn't that thing is it wasn't our scoring source. I think we only scored 1 goal from a center clearance or 1 or 2 goals from a center clearance that whole game. So there's a lot to work on. We were just smashed all around the ground. They had 80 more disposals. Um, nearly 20 more inside 50s. See, but clearances we were good, and it just, god damn, like they had more marks. They were just, we just got outclassed by the Suns, and we just didn't look up to it today. And it was, you can see how much I'm really, really fucking disappointed. But look, as always, I got all of that out of my system. Let's talk about the positives from this game. So we see Mychek come back, kick 2 very nice goals in the first quarter. Doesn't really do much, but I think that's more of we just weren't giving him the ball in the proper positions, and the Gold Coast defenders did really well. Jordan De Goey kicked a really nice goal. He had 20 plus disposals and 2 goals. He did fantastic on his return. He was like 4 or something weeks out since the Adelaide game. So getting legs and minutes into him, into Mychek. Pendlebury did okay, kicked a really nice goal, but I still think Pendlebury isn't 100%. He looked like he didn't want to use his arm at all. Maybe, like, I hate to say, oh yeah, Pendlebury was rushed back. Oh yeah, XYZ was rushed back, because we don't know, right? And it's up to Jared Wade and the doctors and Pendlebury. It did look like he was still a little bit sore. What I don't know. It just looked like he was a little bit sore. The Dacos brothers, um, were everywhere. I think Josh did so bloody well, and Nick, he had like 700. I'll get his stats up. He had like 700 meters gained, um, 3 tackles, 32 disposals, 2 goals, one, and then Josh Dacos had 300 meters gained on the wing, kicked a goal himself, 20 disposals, 6 tackles. Both did super, super well. Lipinski played good. There was a lot of positives individually, but just collectively, we just didn't come together. Like, Nick Dacos tried to get everyone on his back and will his team over the line, and we nearly did it. Like that patch of 6 unanswered goals. So that was one in the end of the third quarter, and then 5 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. That was fantastic. That's Collingwood football there. It still wasn't that really fast-flowing sort of football that we're sort of used to, but it was really, really good football. We just need to apply that for the whole game. And we can do it. We've seen it before. We saw it today. We saw it, or yesterday. We saw it that we can do it in that patch. We just, I don't know. It's almost like they're like, give me a challenge. I want to be down in three-quarter time so we can push back. And, someone said on my Instagram comments that, we got to stop thinking that Hollywood scripted our games. And we got to start winning them off our own back. And that's what we need to do, because that's what it feels like. Like we've scripted them ourselves. And it's very bloody frustrating. For all the positives, though, there were a couple of negatives. I thought Bobby Hill had a really poor game. Just couldn't get a run on it, and that was sort of disappointing to see. Billy Frampton, he got a few goals kicked on him. Can you really blame him though? Like, he's been playing as a forward for the last 6 weeks. I know you can't just forget how to play as a backman, but when you've been training with the forwards for so long, and then that sort of happens, you kind of go, yeah, a little bit, how's it going? I thought Darcy Moore had one of his worst games. A shadow of himself. I've got a video coming out about Darcy once I compile a bunch of stats, and we can sort of talk about his season this season and his season last season. So there were a couple of guys that just didn't really go as good as we want them to. But the one standout for me who only had about 35% of game time was Joe Richards. Came on as a sub for Bo, who's injured now, won't play against Essendon. Joe Richards is a firecracker. He's a dynamite. He needs to start on the ground next week. I don't want him as the sub, because as soon as he came on, I think he set up a goal or two, did some really nice things. He was just that electric player that we needed, that spark that we needed. And I keep saying it, I want to see him get a 2-year contract, and I want him to start on the field, because he is going to take us places. I can guarantee you that. But anyway, guys, this has just been my review of the game. I know it was a bit of a rant and a rave, but I'm just frustrated. It helps. This is why I started Swoop, to get all of this emotion out onto a camera. But let me know your thoughts down below. Look, we're still 6th at the end of this round, I'm pretty sure. So when you start 0-3, I would have taken 6th spot any day of the week. So that's good. That's a positive. But let me know your thoughts on the game down below. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and I'll see you next time. Double Shackers. I'll swoop you later. Like, we're gonna win, not cockily, is that a word? Not like, not